Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer and thank you for clicking on my video. Okay, there I am. I'm like I literally never want to have to do this again, but this is a note from future Jennifer, and I just like get so easily frustrated that having to do this note when it's literally so easy is so annoying to me that I keep having to do it over and over again. So I'm like irritated, man. But basically I had to jump on here and let you guys know that there's going to be a lot of weird cuts in this video because initially the video was like 43 minutes long, and I really I'm pretty sure it's going to be like I want to say like 25 minutes long after editing, but there were two parts to this video initially. I recorded the whole thing together and there were two parts talking about two separate but connected stories and topics, but I decided to cut the second half of the video out and re-record it and upload it next week. So that's why the editing is going to be kind of weird and the jump cuts or whatever are going to be kind of weird, and there might be some like cuts that are like awkward and don't make sense. But that's the best way I can explain it, is just there was a second part and the topics were connected and I had to cut a lot of the connectedness out of the video in order to make it just like one story time. That's the best way I can explain it. I think I'm overthinking I'm sure you get it, but that's basically it. Hopefully I won't have to interrupt again, but if I do, I'm literally gonna I'm just gonna give up, okay? I'm just gonna give up. I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think the story is hilarious and I'm also crazy. So that's all. Thank you for watching. So let's just go right into it. Basically, okay, so I have a story. This starts off with a story, and this story is kind of what launched this whole idea for this video. Because initially, and this might be a long video, so like, I just want to warn you, this is probably going to be over 30 minutes. Probably. But I'll try not to make it that long. But it basically started the other day, and y'all are gonna trip when I tell you this story because everybody that I told the story was like, Jennifer, that's crazy. I can't believe that happened. My back itches. So I guess I'll get started with the story first. All right, so one day, a couple of days ago, I was sitting in my room, and you know, every night I like set intentions and I like meditate and pray and basically put my intentions into the universe, because I'm really trying to manifest a different life for myself. Like the progression of life in 2022 hasn't really been like, it hasn't really been like my vibe. I don't know how else to put that without going into too much detail, but I haven't been like super into it. And like I've been doing so much healing lately, and I really feel like where I am right now is in a place where I don't feel weird about being open about who I am or sharing personal information about myself. Like I genuinely don't see what the problem with that is. I don't want to divulge too much information. Y'all need to know every single detail of my life, nor do I think anybody wants to, but I feel in a very open and sharing mood. And so on one hand, I'm like not wanting to put people off, but on the other hand, it's like, if it's not your vibe, then just don't tune into it, because my intention is really just for myself to be more open and be more transparent, because I have been so reclusive and such a hermit for such a long time that I really want people to know who I am and like to share myself with people, even if it's like just through a screen. So it's really just to say that it's more for me than it is for anybody else. But basically, I'm gonna just get into the story because I know I'm rambling, and I'll probably leave a timestamp if you just want to skip straight to the story. But basically, all right, so I'm manifesting in my room, right? I'm like manifesting and I'm like chilling and I'm just, you know, talking to my spirit guides, and I'm like, you know what? I surrender to the divine will. I said this in my last video, but basically that was the whole thing. I was just like, I'm gonna let whatever the universe has in store for me happen, and I'm just gonna go with the flow. And I've been doing that. Jesus. So then the very next day, like I want to say the day before yesterday, and I was gonna say I have receipts, but I'm literally recording on my phone, so maybe I'll put like a I don't know if it's relevant, but I have kind of receipts. It's not even a big deal where you need receipts, but like, but I just, it was just so weird what happened. So basically I'm like the next day sitting in my room minding my own business, and I was thinking about how like for years and years, and this is gonna sound so random, but for years and years, like, you guys, I ain't even gonna lie, I used to have back knee. And so I never wanted to wear anything backless, and I've always been like really insecure about my arms, so I never wanted to wear anything armless. So I was like, wouldn't it be so great if I could have like a backless armless shirt now that I don't have back knee, which is like, I used to be like, Jessica, my sister, is my back cleared up yet? Like, is it safe? Because like, I can't really tell, like, in my mind it's safe because it doesn't look that bad. And she would be like, no, it's horrible, like, don't show your So like for years I was just really insecure about anybody seeing my, and it's not like somebody was like, wash your back, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's genetic. I don't think it has to do with me not washing my back, like. And now it's finally cleared up, so I'm living my best life. This is way too much information, but I just need this information to be known, because the very next day my sister-in-law comes up to my room and she has this jumpsuit, and it was like the perfect outfit. Maybe I'll like put a picture of it, because I tried it on, and I need you to not judge how dirty my mirror is, because it's like a mirror selfie, and it does have remnants of the explosion from when the hair dye exploded all over my room. Like, I swear to God, this hair dye experience was tragic. Like, it just didn't go good at all, and it exploded all over my room. It got on my mirror, and it's probably gonna be in the picture, but whatever. Anyways, okay, future Jennifer again. I know y'all are like tired of seeing me already, but anyways, basically what I'm talking about is I had to cut this part out of the video because it was interlaced with the other topic that I'm going to be talking about next week, and no spoilers, that's like my motto. So basically what had happened was, this part of the story I can tell you really quick, is that I tried to dye my hair, and it was a box dye, and what had happened was, basically, when I was opening the little tube with the hair dye in it, it exploded all over my room, and it got everywhere, including on my mirror. And that's the context. That's really all y'all need to know. And if anything else comes up, I guess you'll see me again. But honestly, I really don't want that to happen again. But anyways, I'm gonna go. So enjoy the rest of the video. The point is, I took a picture in the outfit, so I'm gonna show you the outfit. She comes up to my room, and she has this jumpsuit, and it is a shoulderless, backless jumpsuit. And I was like, wow, so random. Like, so random. And then I tried this jumpsuit on, and obviously you can judge for yourself how you think I look in it, but I personally thought I looked cute. Everybody was like, oh my God, Jennifer, you're so beautiful. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So, so I'm like, everybody keeps telling me how beautiful I look in this jumpsuit. I'm gonna keep it on for a few seconds. Like, I looked at myself, I did. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of I'm not a narcissist, but I'm like working on my confidence, and I thought I looked cute. And so I kept it on. And the thing is, I had ordered DoorDash that day. I know all of this is so random, but anyways, I ordered DoorDash, and I'm like waiting for my food to get here, and it was actually like, while I'm so bad at telling stories, it was actually while I was ordering or waiting for my DoorDash order to come that I tried on this outfit. So in my mind, like, my DoorDash is about to be here any minute, I better change out of this jumpsuit. But then I was like, you know what, never mind, it's almost here anyway. So then I get the alert on my phone, and okay, I'm gonna just keep going. I get the alert on my phone that my dasher is approaching or something like that. So I'm just like, well, I don't have time to change out of the jumpsuit, but everybody keeps telling me that I'm cute. Honestly, my first thought was, I'm just gonna wait for the guy to like drop it off, or whoever, because I saw his name, but I'm not gonna tell you what his name is just yet. But only his first name, because y'all don't need to know all this person's information, even though I'm a stalker, so I kind of do know. But anyways, like, I just see the dasher is approaching with your order, so I go downstairs in my jumpsuit looking real cute, in my opinion, and like I go outside, and there's this car sitting in front of my house, and I'm thinking, well, that can't be my dasher because they still sitting in the car. And I wait for a few minutes, and I'm just like waiting for this person to get out of the car and bring me my food. And I swear to God, it took like 5 minutes for this person to get out of the car. So I was like, maybe it's just a neighbor sitting in the car, and that's not my dasher. So I go back in the house and I ask one of the kids to like go get my phone from upstairs. So one of the kids go and they get my phone from upstairs so I can like check it to see if my dasher is approaching or if they're already here. And they hand me my phone and I go to step outside and nobody judged me, okay? Because it was late at night. But I go outside and it flashes 11 p.m. and I'm like, that's crazy. Maybe this is my food because that's my wish. And it's 11 right now. That is so crazy. Anyways, I'm like, that's weird. Maybe my wish is coming true and my food is here. So then I go back outside and this guy's still sitting in the car. And as soon as it flashed 11, the dude gets out of the car and I swear to God, okay, you know Lucifer from the Netflix series Lucifer? He was dressed just like that and he was like tall, dark, and handsome, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. He looked nice. He looked like a nice young fellow. And I was just thinking, well, that's odd. That's odd that my food is getting delivered by a I don't know. I don't even know how to describe people when I think that they are attractive, so I'll just say an attractive guy. Who's wearing a suit. He literally looked like he was ready to walk me down the aisle, and I'm not even gonna lie, the outfit was white, the outfit that I was wearing, so we honestly kind of already looked like a married couple, but I'm crazy, so ignore everything I just said. So basically, I go to get my food, right? And, and he's like, hi. Normal interaction. And I'm like going to get my food and I'm not really thinking anything of it, but I'm just like, oh, I know I look cute. So if I look cute, he's definitely going to check me out if he is not gay or ace like me. And so I'm going to get my food and I'm like, and then he goes, hold on, I still have your drink. And I'm like, okay. Obviously, because I ordered a drink, whatever. I'm such a weirdo. But anyways, so he goes to his car to get my drink and then he hands it to me. And I'm thinking, okay, that's usually the end of the interaction. Have a good night, bye. I'm going to head back in the house, right? And then he hits me with a, do you know anybody in real estate? And I'm like, that's random, but okay. I was like, real estate. I know the rules of DoorDash. He ain't allowed to hit on you. So it's like, or I'm not allowed to hit on him. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to hit on him, but I don't know if that works both ways. But anyways, I'm pretty sure we aren't allowed to hit on each other. So he hit me with a real estate thing and I was like, light bulb. And you know how Aquarius are. We don't pick up on nothing, like no signs whatsoever. So I'm like, maybe that's not a light bulb. Maybe that's just a coincidence. So like then you guys, I sure hope my mic is plugged in. So damn, I'm like, oh, my sister, she was like interested in real estate a few months ago. And I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, I was a little bit, So like, I was spazzing a little, like I'm trying to talk and come across as normal and I'm not, or at least in my brain, I'm not. In his brain, I could have been an angel walking on water, but in my brain, I'm like tripping all over the pavement. And so he hands me like all my food, sister, real estate, and then he's like, oh, let me get your sister's number and name and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, what's your sister's name? I don't need to go through every detail, but I'm gonna skip some stuff because it literally isn't relevant to the story at all. But basically he's like, what's your sister's name? And I'm like, Anna. And then he's like, okay, and what's her last name? And then I'm like, and then dang, I shouldn't have, I'm gonna blank that part out because y'all don't really need to know my whole government. But basically he goes, that sounds like a storybook name. And I'm like, well, she married my brother, so that's how she got it. But she's interested in real estate. And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a real storybook name. And he like really emphasized that it sounded like a storybook name. And I'm like, where is this going? Like, what is this about? So then he was really nice. I just want to put that out there. Like, he was a very lovely person. And so like, you know, then he goes, what's your name? And I'm like, Jennifer. Which is like way more storybook in my opinion. I'm just kidding. But anyway, and he's like, nice to meet you, Jennifer. I'm Axel, as if I didn't know his name because he's my dasher and they literally tell you the dasher's name. But it just so happens that like the whole time I was looking at my dasher's name. Anyways, so you're so cute, Bella. Basically, I was like, now I have to start over. My brain needs to reset for a second. So basically, his name was Axel, and I saw his name on my DoorDash receipt, okay? Like, not my receipt, but you know how you get like the alert that your Dasher is arriving and they tell you what your Dasher's name is? So I saw his name on there, and my first thought was like, my favorite Kingdom Hearts character's name is Axel. Like, I mean, it's not really a what are the chances thing, because I've had way weirder things happen with DoorDash names, which, I mean, if you want to hear about it, I don't think anybody cares. But anyways, his name was Axel, and I was like, you know, got it memorized in my brain, obviously, because he was my favorite Kingdom Hearts character, and honestly, isn't he everybody's? So then when he tells me his name, I literally go, my favorite Kingdom Hearts character's name is Axel. Only I was like spazzing, so I was tripping over my words as I was trying to say it. And he goes, yeah, like my friends make me say his catchphrase all the time. And then he goes, got it memorized. Y'all, I was like, this is... Okay, so like, I'm one of those people who thinks everything is a sign, kind of. And so I'm like, is my husband literally delivering my food? Which I'm gonna get into, y'all. He wasn't my husband, obviously. I'm just crazy. But basically, so then he goes, I'll make sure to tell Anna that you highly recommended me when I call her. And so I go in the house and I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe that just happened. Honestly, it was like, I don't know if I just met somebody that I'm supposed to be friends with or what, but like, I feel like that might be a thing. So I go in the house and I'm like telling the kids, because they were like waiting at the door. I literally told the kids everything that just happened, and they were like, oh my God, that's crazy. I told you were hot, Auntie Jennifer. And so, and I'm like, y'all need to stop. You're grossly over exaggerating. And then I go upstairs and I tell my mother what happened. And she's like, no, like, yeah, that is weird. So then I'm thinking my sister is not gonna care about this story at all. Jessica, not gonna care about it at all, because nothing I tell her is ever interesting enough. And so I go in her room and, oh wait, no, I don't. I go in my room and I'm like sitting down getting ready to eat my food. Now I'm about to tell you what I ordered, okay? I ordered ribs from Applebee's. So I'm sitting down and I'm about to eat my ribs from Applebee's, and I'm about to turn on Family Guy. So I know I'm like dressed and I'm cute, and it's 11:11 on like a Wednesday night or some stuff, and I'm just like eating ribs in my room by myself. So yeah, that's where my life is right now. But basically I turned on this episode of Family Guy, and it's like the second, I want to say the second most recent episode. It might be the third most recent by the time this video goes up, but you can go back and watch this episode and you will see what I saw, okay? So I press play on this episode, right? And then like Peter, Cohog, and the whole group or whatever, they like are sitting in the bar that they usually sit in, and they start talking about ribs. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I just ordered ribs. And then they start talking about real estate in this episode. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I will go tell Jessica. So I go and I regurgitate this entire story that I just told you guys to Jessica. And she's like, you know what? Actually, that is kind of crazy. It was actually worth hearing this story this time. So then I go back in my room after having it confirmed that like that story was crazy. And so like I sit down and I press play on the episode again, and oh my God, they just randomly name dropped Axl Rose. And I'm like, this is some mess. Like, okay, so just to recap everything I just said, I ordered ribs from DoorDash, and then a driver named Axel dropped off my ribs and started talking to me about real estate, and then all of that just happened in the episode of Family Guy that I was just watching. You can literally go on Hulu or whatever you watch Family Guy on and watch the episode yourself. And I still have the receipt with this guy's name on it, so I'm not even kidding. Not to mention, the very next day, he actually did call my sister-in-law. And she was like, oh my God, it's like fate, because I was like, I've met this person before. Like, I know who this person is. Like, he used to go to the real estate meetings that I went to, and he's one of the biggest earners and stuff like that or whatever. So she actually ended up knowing who he was. And then I was like, and then she told me his whole name. And so of course I'm like, well now well, now I have his whole name, so I'm gonna go stalk him on Instagram. So the plot thickens, y'all. Hold on. So I know you guys don't know me yet, but a couple of things you should know. And if you watch some of the previous videos that I recently posted, then you will kind of get like a vibe for how I am and who I am. But I want to say, like, I used to be a really big anime nerd, but the only reason I'm not anymore is just because I literally don't have time to keep up with everything. But I still very much am into anime. I have like all of these old ass New Type magazines from like the early 2000s, and I have like a whole stack of them just saved. I used to buy them every month. I used to write Kingdom Hearts fan fiction because that's how much of a nerd I am. I still practice Japanese. Like, I still practice Japanese on a regular basis. You know, it is what it is. Like, I literally was one of those kids growing up who wanted to learn Japanese just so that I could watch anime without the subtitles. And I mean, that's not the only thing about me, but like, that's also how I developed my art style. So, you know, at the end of the last video I made, I put like a little anime picture of myself that I drew. Like, I do digital art in anime style and all of this other stuff. Like, you know, I'm an actual nerd and fan of all of that. So I go look up this guy now that I have his whole government on Instagram, but I'm not gonna put it on here because I don't think I'll ever see him again, hopefully, because if I do, then this video is gonna be like super embarrassing. But but basically, I go on Instagram and I'm like looking through I'm like looking through his Instagram, and he has like all the exact same interests as me. Photography. He like won. You know what? I'm not actually gonna go into his Instagram situation because I don't want to give so much information away that you end up finding this person. And then he's like, who is this random person talking about me on the internet and why? But like, I went through his Instagram and it was like every single thing I was looking at was like, why aren't we friends? Like, why do we not run in the same circles? Mostly because I'm an Aquarius and I live life literally alone. But like, why aren't we in the same circles? Like, we should be friends. This doesn't make any sense that we aren't friends. We have so much in common. It's almost like we were born into the same soul group. I don't even know. Like, you know what? I was about to give more information again, but I really don't need this person to know that I stalked them. So it was just weird. And I was like, I don't even know. Like, honestly, the universe couldn't drop a bigger sign on me short of dropping a house on me, which I really don't want to happen. But I had been like manifesting lately. I was like manifesting friendship and manifesting like a soul family and a soul group and all of this stuff. And then this person just shows up literally at 11:11. Like, it doesn't get more on the nose than that. And I did not do a proper outro for this video because, like I said, that's basically where I start going into the next topic. So basically, that is the story time, and I hope you guys thought that was as crazy as I thought it was. I hope you enjoyed the video. That is it. So if you did like this story, hopefully you'll come back next week and listen to me talk about random stuff even more. But that is all for now. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you subscribe if you like. And if you like the video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up or rate it whatever you want. I really don't care. But I would appreciate it, I guess. I don't know. It made me really excited when I got 2 views last week because I was like, it wasn't even from me. So whatever you do, it would make me happy. So thanks for watching. I'm pretty sure I said that like a billion times already, but I'll see you next week.